Hello again, everyone. I'm here today with some new to me inks. There are some from Birmingham Pen Company. I do have a few other colors by Birmingham and I really love them. So they released some new colors and they, for the most part, they really appealed to me. So I got 4 separate bottles. They're also really inexpensive per bottle. So I feel like it's kind of a nice way to split the difference between a decent sized bottle and a sample bottle. And I have one Franklin-Christoph ink. I recently purchased a specialty nib and then I added the ink because I wanted to try it out. This will be the first time I'm ever trying out their ink. So as per usual, I have my ink swatch book here. I will put a link down below to this setup as I usually do. And then I have my little testing tools. There's a link to what these tools are in the video that I have linked below. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have some water off to the side to clean out my tools. And I also have a paper towel. So this is an automatic pen and then a glass pen, and you'll see how I use them if you have not seen any of these swatching videos from me before. So I am going to do the Franklin-Christoph first, and I'll tell you what each of these is in case you cannot read them. It's a little small on the screen there. So let's go ahead and get started here. I've already marked a new page spread here because I have 5 inks. I only had 4 slots left here and I didn't want to have to wait for those to dry, so I went ahead and started a new 2-page spread here. And okay, it's not laying very flat, but we'll get it in shape here once we're doing this. So I am actually going to get these a little bit further out of the way here and then zoom in just a little bit so that you can see the sample. And I will put these closer up to the camera towards the end so you will be able to see them closer. All right, and these bottles come in a couple of different models of the bottle, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. So this one is a dropper top or a little I don't know what this is, screw top? I don't know. But now in retrospect, I'm thinking, why did I do that? Because what I really want to do with this is be able to put a pen in it, right? So I could use this for eyedropper fill. That might be a good idea. I still think pens will probably fit into the opening, and I am going to open this part of it. Yeah, and there's no, it's not like a spray bottle. It's an actual pour bottle with that. Let me put this off to the side where it won't get ink on everything. I think I'll be able to get my tools into the bottle. Yes, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so this color is Urushi Red. So Urushi is essentially a lacquer treatment that I'm pretty sure originated in Japan, and that's mostly where you're seeing it from. But this is supposed to be similar to the color of that treatment. It's a lovely red. Okay, I'm rinsing that pen off and getting the ink off of it over to the side here. It doesn't seem to be very staining on the tools, so that's nice. Let me get the glass pen. So this is, well, first let's do some lines. This is actually a very interesting dynamic red. I really like it. It looks like it can shade fairly light, but it can also show up a little darker in writing. So this is the Franklin-Christoph Urushi Red. That is a really beautiful color. I think that's going to go well in a variety of pens. I don't generally know what the flow of this is, whether it's a little bit dry or a little bit wet or somewhere in between, because this is the first one that I've ever gotten from Franklin-Christoph, but I am eager to try it. So I am going to close that bottle up, and then, so that's the Urushi Red. And now I'm going to go on to the Birmingham Pen Company inks. This whole set of 4 that I just got is from their new set of colors that they've posted recently. None of them are waterproof. I have gotten a couple of waterproof ones in the past, and they only just recently introduced their waterproof colors. but none of these are waterproof. I think they had one or two new waterproof colors as well in the last update. These inks have just handled so beautifully in pens that I've been using them a lot, and I like them a lot. So this color is Gamboge. I got a lot of neutral colors, so you'll see there's sort of a theme to the colors that I have today. Even this is fairly neutral as a red. It's really very pretty. Actually, I do want to try and compare this to some of the new diamine reds. I was wondering if, so that's Noel here. This is mulled wine. It's lighter than both of those, but I was curious because there's poinsettia, which I think is also darker. There's a lot of reds in this blue series, which was from their ink vent calendar. So yeah, it did kind of remind me a little bit of Diamine Ho 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 when I saw it, but I still think this is a richer red than this is, and this seems to be able to go darker than the Ho 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 can. This is more of a true red, I would say, and this probably has a little bit of a pink tone to it, I would say. But I did want to compare those because there's so many reds in this selection. Fire Embers, no, that's much more orangish. Okay, I just thought I'd show those real quick before going on to the Birmingham inks. So like I said, this is Gamboge. Gamboge is generally an orange or a yellow. And you can see in the cap there, this looks like almost like a dirty yellow. In watercolor, at least for brands like Daniel Smith, Gamboge tends to be a more orange-leaning yellow. Yeah, and I would say that's not what this is, but this is accurate as to how it was showing up on their website. And it is really, really pretty. I've been really drawn to more neutral colors lately. So it was really nice that they had a bunch to choose from in this latest collection. So that's just lovely, I think. It's sort of almost like a brown, like a light brown bordering on orange. Okay, and I'm wiping that pen off. And then let's go with the glass dip pen here. Okay, so, and from the samples, it looked like these would write dark enough to be fully visible. So this is Birmingham Co. And this is Gamboge. That's actually really lovely. I would say it's almost like a smoky, sort of tobacco-y color that I've seen in some other inks. But it is really pretty. Part of it was I couldn't decide between some similar colors that they had, so I just basically, I got them all. And that way I could get free shipping anyway, because like I said, these ink bottles are quite inexpensive. Let's see, let me stick with the brown themes, and then I'll work my way up. So this is called Projector film, and the color is really quite interesting. I dabbled a little bit in filmmaking, like with actual film, really, really young. My father was into that and kind of got me into it. And this actually is the color of film. So there's usually a leader. A leader on film just means it's the beginning of the film where there's nothing actually like there's no movie on it. And that color reminded me of that leader is very much like projector film here. So yeah, it's sort of like a greenish yellow, sort of. But it's such an interesting color. And actually with this Gamboge, I'm seeing a lot of shading possibilities here. It's not showing as much in the writing, which is probably how it will show up when it is written with a pen. But I think if you had a broader nib on there, you could get some interesting shading. Yeah, and this is just such an interesting color. I think projector film was a really good name for this because that is really what it reminds me of. Okay, rinse that one out. It's kind of nice to have some sort of unusual colors to mix things up with. All right, now I'm going to go in with a dip pen. Get some of that ink off there. So this is Birmingham. This is lovely. Penco. Projector film. Yeah, and like I was saying, someone clearly knows what projector film looks like because that is, it's definitely bringing back memories of that for me as well. And that was a no-brainer. That one I knew I had to get. The Gamboge I was kind of up in the air about, and then this next one I was kind of up in the air about, which is Amber Ale. So it's a little bit more brown, a little bit more brownish red than these, but we'll see as I put it below. So let's see. Yeah, you can see there. I think these are all different enough to have each of them too. So I'm kind of happy that they're not too similar. Okay. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, that's very lovely. I haven't been very consistent with my swatch sizing here. Okay. That is another lovely color. It's really, really nice. I was going to say it had sort of a red tint when I put it up against the paper towel, but that's because I had other red ink on my paper towel. So that would not be accurate. But that's beautiful. That is a really beautiful color. Okay, I'm going to get in there with my glass pen now. I've been having some trouble with ink kind of globbing off of the end of the glass pen, so I've been wiping it off a little bit more to try and avoid that, and it seems to be working. So this is Birmingham. Penco again, and this is Amber Ale. That's lovely. I really like that. In fact, I think of the three, that one's my favorite. Followed closely by Projector Film, which is just such an unusual, unique color. Okay, so, and then I have one more, which I'm going to do on the other side here, and then I'm going to show you these closer up. So this one is Lichen Watermark. So this one is sort of different than the ones I already have here. This one is a greenish color, as you can see. I would say it's not greenish, it is green, but it's a muted green. That seems to be my theme today, muted colors. They're so interesting. I'm really looking forward to filling pens with these. And I've been gravitating towards more green inks lately. I generally like sort of blues and reds, but I've been trying to branch out a little bit more, and I've actually been more attracted to the browns and the greens. Maybe it's just the time of year, because this is winter. Maybe these are more like the dead things that I'm seeing outside. Although nothing's really green right now in Colorado, so it wouldn't even be this lichen color, unfortunately. Although I suppose the pine trees are still around. Okay. So see, I'm just wiping some excess ink off on the top of the jar there. Okay. Got a pretty good dip on that one. Okay, so this, again, this is Birmingham. Pen Company. And this is Lichen Watermark. That's lovely too. I think that's gonna do really well in pens. All of these actually are really awesome. I would say of the four, like if I had to choose not to have one of the four from Birmingham, I would probably say that this one is one I wouldn't necessarily have to have. But it is a lovely, it's almost like a cross between sort of a brown and a terracotta. It's almost like brown unfired clay. It's very pretty. Okay, well, and these are, because of where I am, everything's drying so fast, the Urushi red is already fully dry. And that is really, really pretty. I'm really happy with that one. And then below that we have the Birmingham Pen Company Gamboge, which I would not call a gamboge. I think that's not really what I would associate with a gamboge. I would associate it with a lighter yellow, or a brighter yellow, I should say. And then this is Birmingham Projector film, which is a really unique color there. And both of these have really cool shading here in the little swatch. And I think pretty much all of these colors are going to have a little bit of shading. Shading meaning the intensity of the pigment is going to change as you write. And then let's go down to the bottom one here. This lovely, lovely amber ale. I can't believe I almost didn't get that one, because that would have been a miss for sure to not get it, because it really is super pretty. And then the last one is this Lichen Watermark, which is also really pretty. And I would say that all of these, even though some of the colors are a little bit light, I think that they're very legible when they're written. So that's always nice. I'm really trying to pay more attention to that, because I have purchased a few somewhat lighter inks that have turned out to be almost illegible when I write with them. Although I have noticed that it really does depend on your nib. If you have a wetter flowing nib with a lighter ink, you might be able to get some more legibility out of it. So I've also been trying that as well. A couple of good examples of that are Yamabudo. No, not Yamabudo. I'm sorry. Neko Yanagi from Yamabudo's Pilot. Neko Yanagi is from Sailor. It's a really light purple ink. Maybe I can show you that here. And it is kind of illegible on, and Viola is actually another one. If you have it in a wetter flowing pen, you're going to be able to have more legible writing. Here's the Neko Yanagi. Because there's so much shading and everything, but if you have it in a wet flowing pen, you're going to be able to see, actually this whole page is probably a good example. You're going to be able to see the ink better. So with the Haha and the Vinta Peria and Vinta Serena, all three of these need sort of a wet flowing pen. And it doesn't have to be broad. Like a couple of pens I have mediums that are wetter in flow. I actually swapped out the nibs on some pens that were, the new nib is medium and the old nib was medium, but because there's a wetter flow with the new medium, you can read the writing much better. And I may do an example of that at some later time. I'm just not set up for that right now because I didn't have it in front of me. I didn't have those pens in front of me. All right, so the main event was these inks here, and they're all super, super lovely. They're all lovely sort of neutral tones and very interesting colors, I think. All right, well, that's it for today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and I hope to see you next time. But in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.